While I have a second college. Yep. I think the college bubble is bursting. That's right. I see on Facebook, I see these pictures of college. Let's get YouTube in the mix here soon. So yeah, I'm holding like a press conference. I got two videos going on at the same time. I should have 3 or 4, maybe, make me feel at least more important. Loud and clear. Thanks, Stephanie. Great. Boy, why isn't anybody on YouTube? Usually YouTube is bigger, faster, better. Bigger, faster, better, but it's not today. What's going on? Oh, I think maybe you got some YouTube things, people, whatever. Okay, wow, this is my first live stream. Well, you found the idiot here. I'm here to listen, good. A lot of people come and talk. Some of these other things, they get in, and trolls come in, or whatever they call those people, you know, that just try to upset you, and boy, at my age, there's nothing much upsets me anymore. Okay, so we're filling up. But yeah, I don't know if you watch, I mean, I read a lot of this stuff that's going on. You know, I'm trying to find out what my job is trying to show people the options available to really succeed in our society now, and what's going on, and where the new stuff is. Because the new stuff to me is really the important stuff. If you're going all on the traditional stuff, then everybody's there already. The opportunities are in the new stuff, so you got to know about the new stuff. You know, and now what I think this college bubble is about to burst, man. You know, we have more college debt in the history of the world, and it's just getting worse. Actually, what's interesting is college tuition now. People only pay half price. That's the average price that people are paying. So people are going less to college because why? They know it ain't worth it. So, I mean, when in doubt, I guess it is. But man, if you're looking for a job and going to 4 years, the average person comes out with about $40,000 worth of debt now, you know, out of college, you know, and about 40% of those people who graduate are not even making $25,000 a year. So God, you go 4 years, you're in debt up their heister, and why is that? See, and the colleges that everybody promoting college are saying, yeah, yeah, go to college, you need it to live better and all this kind of stuff. Man, you know why? Because somebody else is paying the bill. It's sort of like healthcare. You know, you don't pay the bill for healthcare, right? Somebody else does. The doctor doesn't pay the bill, but the doctor says, you need all this healthcare because, oh, well, otherwise you're going to die because somebody else is paying your bill. And the same way with education. You need all this education or you're going to have a shitty life. Why? Because somebody else is going to, you're going to get money from somebody else and then be in hock for the rest of your life. So they're not paying for it, right? So that's the problem. All us salesmen are that way. So you got to be careful of those slick guys on TV. We know how to, you know, talk to make you feel that you're stupid if you don't buy my stuff, you know. And that's what's going on. But the proof is in the pudding. Now, if you look between the lines, what's going on now there, you could go out and get literally a 4-month course for free and with just a high school diploma and start a job for $40K a year. That's right. I've talked to these people. I know it's true. There's more and more popping up, you know, all over the country. And they're really nonprofit. They don't even charge for the training because it's so cheap. And the company, and the more important thing, we have a shortage of people. We have a shortage of people with skills. See, what the new workforce is about is not this pedigree nonsense. Well, where did you go to school? You know, that's why everybody wants to go, all these rankings in schools, because we're all, you know, trying to impress the other people with some kind of pedigree that we are. Well, you must be smart as hell because you went to that college or whatever. God, but you don't know how to do shit, do you? That's why the skills are what counts now. We're competing in the world. You're competing with a PhD in China. It costs them nothing. And so they're not going to hire you with your math degree or a bachelor's or what. No. So you have to get those skills, and that's what there's going on now. It's skills. It's developing skills for the good job. Right now, there's an article in the New York Times today. Here's it. Second route to middle class. Okay, this is what's going on now. The factory jobs of working with your sweat, and making $100,000 a year. That's over in the factory. But now it's technology jobs, and for 4 months, 6 months, or whatever. I was at a meeting last week up in Baltimore with somebody like Tech Hire. Now that's another thing. Look for the group called Tech Hire. They'll take anybody. This is like, instead of going out and get an MBA with that stupid bachelor's degree you got, go get a coding degree for free. You go to Tech Hire. You go to, they train you for 6 months for free. You're getting paid while you're training. Paid, right? Paid. When does the last college pay you to come there? No, they did. They want you to go to Hawk for the rest of your life. Give them your first 3 children when you have them and everything. And you can't get rid of the debt. I don't think that's allowed to get rid of in bankruptcy either. The financial industry, man. Those people on Capitol Hill making it good for themselves. By the way, that's what's happening now with healthcare. It's turned into a tax cut for $1 trillion. And then we're losing $1 trillion for that it costs for 22 million people that will no longer get health care. So we save $1 trillion there and give it as a tax rate to the rich. Anyway, so it's called the middle class, and they're calling it new collar jobs. It's not white collar. It's not blue collar. These are new collar. And it's skills you learn. Everybody needs these skills. You say, well, I'm not technically inclined or all this kind of stuff. Man, that doesn't matter. You're not technically inclined to ride a car probably, or fix it, but you could use it. That's what it's about. It's being familiar enough to use it. And that's why in 6 months. And now this Tech Hire people, what they do, after they pay you for 6 months to learn about computers, then they get you an internship that pays you for another 6 months, while you're still learning on the job. Now that's beats sitting in some stuffy classroom, doesn't it? You're on the job with a bunch of people all doing the same thing, and that's fun, not waiting, looking at that clock. Oh, I remember in class, man, I remember, there was one class where the teacher put a sign on the clock said, "Time will pass, but will you?" And that was aimed at me. I was watching that clock for the whole class. So and now there's another one called Skillful, Skillfull. And see, the government's involved in these things, trying to get people, because that's where the jobs are. There's millions and millions of jobs opening right now that require that. They don't require a bachelor's degree. I just read like IBM. Now that was a big technology when I got into the tech business. They were the biggest people. They have 5,000 openings, and nearly a third of them don't require a college degree. So there's a big tech company, and they don't require college degrees because they need the skills. But if you don't have the skills, so that's why Skillful, that organization, they have grant money, from Gates and all these other people, because we know we're going to be behind in the world if we don't get the talent, we don't create this talent. And what people have to do now is really, instead of getting a master's or a PhD, man, get a coding degree will get you in, because it really boils down now. What LinkedIn is involved in this, because LinkedIn shows like what everybody's skills have. See, that's neat. These big platforms, this gigantic data. We could go on and say, hey, who has all these skills? Not what goddamn pedigree you have. Who cares if you have you can't do the goddamn thing. It doesn't matter what piece of paper you have on your wall. But we hire from that pedigree, and so they have. See, they analyze, who's looking for what kind of skills. They analyze who's got what kind of skills and are starting to match them up like that. So if you could just show, hey, I don't have a degree, but I could have those. I know how to do that stuff. And that's how people are getting hired now. And sure, it's not everybody, and that old stuff won't go around away overnight or whatever, but that's the growth. It's sort of like radio. When I grew up, the only media we had was radio. And when TV came and said, everybody, radio is going to be gone. Well, it's still around in some form, okay? But the growth was in all these other things. And that's the important thing. You want to be in the growth, because if you're in the shrinking thing, man, it's like Mad Max. Everybody's fighting each other for the last gallon of gasoline. But if money's going out all over and jobs are plentiful, all that kind of, man, everybody treats each other nicely, don't they? So that's what's cool about it. So that's why look for these kind of opportunities. How do you find them? Well, it's really nonprofit organizations and the government. There's free. If you go and Google this, you're going to get some company who sees this coming on, and they'll charge you thousands of dollars. Now, if you have thousands of dollars, fine. You'd probably go to college if you did, right? But you don't. So what's happening, people are going into hock for this kind of stuff and doing that. No, find the free ones first. How do you do that? Well, one way is to go to your Career One-Stop Center. Your Career One-Stop Center, that's in your county. So if you just go Google county, your county, maybe like I live in Montgomery County, and put Career One Stop, or now they're changing a lot of names to something called Workforce. See, it's our workforce. That's what we're investing a lot in. There's a lot of money. Now, they have at every state and every county level to train like that. And if you're out of work or whatever, looking for a job, you just got graduated, and hey, I want to get into tech. Well, there's $8,000 you could get from these offices to go and learn for 6, 8, 10 months, to learn how to code or the basics of this, and then go. Or one of these other nonprofit organizations. See, Tech Hire and Skillful are nonprofits. Another way to do it is find the nonprofits in your area that do job training. See, because that's what they're doing, is trying to make the country better. Everybody in Google, the people are trying to get money from you. So the people who are trying to make the country better aren't in Google because they're not getting money from you. They're giving you money. So they don't know how the algorithm is to be on the front page. So when you go in and try to find them in Google, you won't unless you know their name. And who would have known, Tech Hire? You wouldn't have known that. And if you go, I want a technology job or something, then the sharks come out, right? And it's going to cost you $5, $6, $8, $10, $12, $15,000, before they finish with you. But the guy down the street who works for the government says the same thing for free. But you don't know that. You don't know that. You don't know that. And that's too bad, because we're all struggling. We all need all the help we can get. Now look at this. An analysis of this data, because that's what they're trying to do, is point this out. Because if we have jobs over here with that require one skill, and we're just looking for people with have a degree in that skill, that's nonsense. Because the guy who's been tinkering with it down his basement and is better usually than the guy who's learned it in school, because boy, I think I could make a lot of. My mom said I have to take this course, kind of thing. No, and so these people are able to be identified and get this work now. And now, organizations are starting to appreciate that because they need the people. It's supply and demand. If you're going what everybody else does with the lousy degrees that everybody else has and everything, we got lots of that. So it's fun to want to be wanted. Here's the kind of hard skills, and it's all technology oriented. But see, and the jobs are at least $100,000 a year eventually. Not a minute. So without a high school, or even with a high school diploma, and sometimes even with just a high school diploma, you start at 30 or 40, and you could go up to 80, 90, $100,000. Nursing, same way. Healthcare is the same thing. You want to go to healthcare? Actually, a good place to start is Career One-Stop Center to find about the training money. Go to your community college. Screw anybody else that's trying to sell you, training or anything. Forget it. They're just figuring out how to sell you stuff. That may or may not be good, and I really can't judge. But all I know, it's costing you a hell of a lot more than you really need to pay. So why even look unless everything else it fails? And the problem is you haven't found everything else, because they're the people you're going to find first, because they're making a lot of money from you, so they're spending a lot of money trying to get you. And they'll get you because they're good at this. They're better than I am. So here, the skills in demand, according to LinkedIn in 2016, cloud computing experience. And I don't know what the hell cloud computing is, and I have an MBA in computers, but you can learn them in a few months. I mean, look at all the idiots doing this stuff. Data mining and statistical analysis, smartphone app development, data storage engineering, user interface design, network security expertise. So what? I mean, even the programs they'll teach you math for free, they'll teach all this stuff that you don't have to go and pay 50 grand a year to do anything. But see, the important thing you say, oh, I'm not needed anymore because the robots will take over everything. No, because you need those soft skills. Robots don't have the soft skills. Communication, curiosity, adaptability, teamwork, empathy. That's something the computer will never have, is empathy. Yeah. Time management and open-mindedness. Yeah. So we're in a society where it's going to be both. Like now, I mean, you've read about how the computers are beating everybody in chess and what is that computer game? I mean, not computer game, Jeopardy and all that kind of stuff. Computer beats them, But who beats everybody? A computer and a human. That's where it works, and that's what's happening, in the future with all that. So that's where I think opportunity is, and it's an opportunity now, an opportunity that doesn't cost you money, and it's growing. And the same way with apprenticeship programs. Man, you only need a high school diploma. If you have a degree, that's fine. You just blew an extra 100 grand or whatever it was in college, and you start again earning while you're learning. And, eventually, I mean, you're making 100 grand a year. 80, 90, 100 is not unheard of in these skills. And we need them. That's why if Trump gets this infrastructure thing going, we don't have enough skilled people to do it. Right now, they can't grow. Like Colorado is growing like, I was saying pancakes, but that doesn't make any sense at all, does it? It's growing like hell. But they don't have enough skilled people to help build stuff. And so that's it. Go to your community college. Look for certificate programs. And, 6 months or whatever, like somebody said about healthcare, man, in this area here, like in a year or so, they're looking for sleep apnea technicians. Everybody's got sleep apnea. They can't sleep. Why? Because they hate their job and not making enough money. So now we have a new way to cure them. We got a sleep apnea technician. They come in and they watch people sleep. Now, how the hell they do that, I don't know. Well, I'm sure they put up for gadget. My son was involved in one of these, so I really know. So that's it. Your community college, your career one-stop center, and nonprofits. How do you find the nonprofits? There's two ways. There's one is you go to 211.org, wherever you are, and you look up job training. And depending on where you are, and that will get some, I don't know if it gets all, because now there's another database that I talked about in an earlier one, GuideStar, and that you could go online, GuideStar, that they keep track of all of the nonprofit organizations in the world. And what you can do is go and look in your state for job training. So in other words, you will find you're looking for job training nonprofit organizations in your state. And I just did that before we went online here for Maryland. 179 nonprofit organizations that are training people for free for jobs. Right? And what do you and I know about jobs? It's those people with signs on the bus or in the subway. You hate your job? Come to the university, and you'll be, hit at the water cooler. God, after you pay them 100 grand or whatever it is. So make sure you know your alternatives before you make those kind of decisions. And there's a lot changing in our society, and it's not going backwards. It's going forward. I mean, we're all in like whitewater rapids. I just read a book and he had this analogy. It was that, when you ever go whitewater rapids, and you can't get your little boat going the right way. Well, you can't stop. You can't put the oil in the water and go backwards so you can stop. No, the way to survive is you got to go with the flow, right? You got to go. Otherwise, you'll capsize and you'll be water over your head and never get out of that thing. So that's what our life is like now. It's changing so fast, nobody could keep up with it. That's why everybody's pissed. They can't, like me too, I'm pissed. I can't make money like I used to. That doesn't work anymore. We all have to do that, and it's changed. But if you're just banging your head against the wall trying to do that same old shit again, all you got to do is get a sore head. And then the health industry grows because you're buying more aspirin. going to the hospital more. So go with the flow. Find out where it's going and try to jump in and float down that stream where it's going. Okay, let me know. Remember, I have a free download of my 5 best places that I turn to when I go and do research, reports for people. I do research reports like, now I'm just finishing one, 350 pages of all the money that's available just in Santa Cruz. Santa Cruz, California. 300 and some pages worth of sources of free money and help to do what you want to do in life. That's what I'm doing. And that's at leskotutor.com. And then, but if you want the 5 places I go for free are like the 211, the people that help you with any kind of business thing, and also the financial assistance, technical help, and all these stuff are free. 5 best free places if you go to lesko.com/5 free. That's lowercase. 5 free. F-R-E-E lowercase. Download that sucker and you'll get my secrets. But again, the more I could teach that it's there and how to use it, because if you're just using Google or whatever, Google's great. I mean, we really can't live without, but you have to be careful. It's like having an automobile and don't know how to drive. It's a great thing, but if you don't know how to do it, man, you're hitting everything and bouncing off the walls and killing people. On Google, people know how to use that who want your money. And they know how to use that better than you do or I do or whatever. So that's why you have to be careful. And one rule of thumb is whenever you're on Google, forget about .coms. All you want to look at are .govs, G-O-V, and .org, O-R-G. That'll keep you away from the sharks most of the time. And that's just a safer bet to start off when you're looking for anything. And they're the kind of tips in that free download I have. So that's lesko.com/5 free. Who said it's free? I did. Thanks for putting up with me, guys. Take care.